What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We're going to recap week 8 of the NFL and happy Halloween to everybody out there. If you're not watching on YouTube but just listening, go to youtube.com, type in Totally Blitz Podcast, come watch the Halloween episode. We kind of fitted, some not, some are. Kev over here rocking the mean Joker fit. But as always, go down, like, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts on week 8 and let's get into this. I'm Paul Pickle Winham, and I'm joined with.
Ha 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 ha. Hey man, you already know it's your boy Kev, Water Boy Savoy, aka the Don PYE. But on Halloween, you could just call me Mr. J. You feel me? Hey Paul, I ain't gonna lie to you. This shit is hot as hell. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but for the moment, let's vibe. Let's ride. How'd you feel about this Sunday, man?
Sunday was
Well,
good.
first,
Was
did
it
we
my
go over Thursday?
get the dub?
You said your Dolphins got the dub. Y'all boys sound good. I wish I got one of those.
So anytime we get the dub on Sunday is always a good Sunday with me.
Mm. It was nice. That shit sounds nice. I'm mad. I'm so bittersweet for the L that we caught this week. Because you know how I like that boy Will Levis. But why he had to do it to us?
First career start too. That boy looked kind of nice.
I mean, D Hop had him looking like a god out there, no cap.
The first one I would say was D Hop, but his other 3 touchdowns was like wide open, booty naked, streaking.
Nah, for real. Nah, the second one I definitely would give it to D Hop too. The second one, because that boy definitely hit the nice ass little post and he got that bitch. But what's your favorite thing about the Halloween time since it's that Halloween era?
Man, just the costumes be fine, the Halloween parties be fine, and just like it gives everyone a reason to kind of go back to like being the kid type shit. Like just good vibes all the time. And
Bro, I don't know if we ever did, but I don't know. I remember going to Halloween parties, but I don't remember ever celebrating Halloween. So this is why, I low key had to come through with the costume. I got to get my money's worth. But this Sunday was a good Sunday. I don't think it was crazy epic. I feel like there are a lot of close games, especially at 1 o'clock. But I don't think it was like a crazy epic Sunday. But this was a good Sunday.
I don't know. I think there were some big moments. I mean, there were some games you knew it was gonna happen, but like there were some crazy. We'll get into it. Like the 4 o'clock games in particular, there was some crazy shit.
Say less, man. How'd you do on the bets?
Betting wise, well, with the Chargers, the game's finishing up right in front of us right now. If they continue what they're doing, best bets, not the best week. We went 2, 3, and 1. We had a push with the Browns at +4. They lost by 4. But then the prop bets, I killed it. I went 12 and oh no, 11 and 6 right now. Just fucking an extra 5 units on the bets right there. Like 11 and 6 is if I can do that every week, bro, we're having a good ass time.
I must say that's some profitable numbers right there.
Yeah, and I'm none that were really like. There's a couple bad beats, like not really bad beats, but like fucking Derek Carr interception. He didn't get one, but there's a couple iffies. Kendrick Bourne didn't go over 4.5 catches, but he got hurt in the third quarter with 3 catches, and it was looking like he was on his way. And then just the Cam Akers over 30 rushing yards. He had 20. He was sitting like they just stopped using him in the fourth quarter. Like there was a couple things where like I was looking good until it didn't happen.
No, that's a vibe. So the bets went straight. How we do on the picks?
Picks, you won. There's another week. Kev wins. Without the Monday Night Football game, he's sitting at 9 and 5 on the week straight up. I'm at 7 and 7. We still got Monday Night Football. We both went with the Lions, so hopefully I go 8 and 7. You go 10 and 5. But another good week for you. Me, I could definitely. I have some better weeks ahead of me.
Hey man, that shit is fucking fire. I'm not gonna lie, there were some games that had me looking like, what the let me pull up which games. But what games we talking first, big dog?
Let's go straight down the slate on the. I'm looking at ESPN right now. First game on the board: the Jets beating the Giants And it went to overtime, 13-10. Jets beat the Giants in overtime. Greg DeLeg kicks the field goal. They win the game. It was kind of this was a I think they had what was it? Something insane. Where it was. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. 15 punts at halftime combined, the most since 2000. And it wasn't much offense in the second half either. Tyrod Taylor getting hurt, DeVito coming in, first time ever playing in the NFL. Giants in the game with -8 passing yards, and yet they still end up going to overtime. This is definitely a game they should have lost. Given you just look at the stats and the box score, Zach Wilson a couple fumbles, arguably the ugliest game on the slate.
Oh, by far the most disgusting. I think they actually ended up with like 27 punts on some crazy shit or something like that. Or I think the record was 27 punts, and they were trending that way, especially with a whole entire half of overtime to go. But this game was so funny to me because it was it was theirs to lose, I feel like.
The Giants or the Jets?
The motherfucking the Giants.
I know the Giants took the lead, but they just couldn't. I felt like it was more of the Jets game to lose just because the Giants weren't getting no yards. Like they just kept like Zach. At least with the Jets, you could pass the ball forward.
See, if I had my motherfucking ESPN popping up, that shit. Oh, here it goes. But no, I think what got me was the fucking penalties in the overtime, and I was just like, oh well, this is how y'all niggas lose.
Yeah, and it was just like DeVito gets the one rushing touchdown, but I'm just saying like -8 passing yards. There's no way you should win this game, let alone even be in the game. Like -8 passing yards, you should be getting blown out. Even with a Zach Wilson led offense, it should be like 28 to 0 at that like stats like that.
There we go. Nah, no rap cap. So like you looking at, I thought the Giants could have at least done something in overtime because when they got the ball, because when they got the ball first, you just thinking like, oh okay. But then I'm thinking like, oh, these guys kind of lit. This shit might be like quick little field goal or something like that. Nah, fuck all that. And then you're coming down the Jets. They get the motherfucking they get the two pass interferences. I can't remember if the first one was a pass interference, but the two penalties, and then they literally go all the way down. They literally get both those. The last penalty I think was on the what, like the 10 or the 11,
Yeah,
like damn
Dory
near.
Jackson.
Yeah, damn near in range, damn near in already in the red zone type shit. So when I saw that, I was like, well, at least my motherfucking Jets pick one because this game was too close for comfort. I thought having Sauce Gardner back wasn't going to be a motherfucking huge ass deal, but like the offense, Giants offense definitely didn't score, but like the Jets couldn't do much. And I feel like they were doing some powerful plays, like even that play that got called a penalty when Garrett Wilson got the first down when like he caught that bitch, fell, got the fuck back up and pushed his way back to the first down. You're like, okay, this Jets team is trying to motherfucking win more than anything.
Yeah, and the other big thing was the Giants were in the driver's seat to win it. They kicked the field goal with like 20, 30 seconds left. They missed the field goal. They give the ball back to the Jets. The Jets they get the first down, and it's a penalty. Stop. The clock is stopped. They're already in field goal range. But then they run another ball with no timeouts left, and Zach Wilson gets back up to the line after making a completion, and with 1 second left, he spikes it to set up the field goal to tie the game. And I was like, that was the only part of the game where the Jets offense looked good.
Nah, that shit is dangerous. But hey, man, at least they won this motherfucker. The battle of the battle of the Meadowlands, the battle of New York. Jets got that bitch with no Aaron Rodgers.
No A-Rod. And he looked good throwing some passes before game. But next game on the slate, Dolphins winning 31-17 over the Patriots. Tua throwing dimes. Ramsey getting to almost pick six, jumping over his own player, going out of bounds. Honestly, if he cuts inside, he might take that all the way. Patriots made some good second half adjustments to limit our offense, but then in the fourth quarter, when we need to make plays, Bradley Chubb making plays, Jalen Phillip making plays, fucking Tua in the offense, Jalen Waddle making plays. Like even Chase Claypool was catching a couple passes out there. It was kind of crazy. And we covered the spread. Big, great teams cover spreads. It was 9 points. Never in doubt. I felt like Tua 6-0 against Bill Belichick in his career.
No, that's a crazy stat. I would definitely say never in doubt, but I will say that this Patriots team came trying to win type shit. Like when they got the early turnover and motherfucking Mac Jones. Because I said that on the podcast. I was like, bro, this isn't a team you like to turn the ball over against. And when they got the early turnover, they looked like they was trying to beat you. I ain't gonna lie to you, Pablo. But then Tua got comfortable, motherfucking. And once I seen him throw that touchdown to Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek literally burnt two dudes in double coverage, I was like, oh.
And it was a dime, like a 40-yard in the bread basket.
You just look at that shit like, yeah, it's gonna be one of those games. So shout out y'all for motherfucking figuring out the way to beat the motherfucking Patriots anytime you get a chance. But did you see the little jit that was dressed as Coach McDaniels?
Yeah, he was clean.
That shit was adorable. He did a little run against the camera and all that. I was like, oh, them boys fire.
And I would say everyone kept giving us hate because who have you beat? Who have you beat? Like this Patriots team has beaten the Bills earlier this year. The Broncos, we'll get into it later, have beaten the Chiefs pretty handily this week. And like any given Sunday, your team can lose. Like I hate when people are starting to like try to knock off teams. It's sometimes in boxing you see it. It's like, well, who has he beat? Who has he beat? You can make that point, but it's like look at how they're beating them though. Like these are solid, handily wins. These aren't little close ass games.
70-point wins type shit.
Yeah.
But I look at you guys as you guys just lost the two big games that's it. Like y'all just lost the big games that you played so far, you lost them. Like, and they were close games both times. Well, maybe not the Bills, but with the Eagles, it was a close ass game, which the Eagles are still 7-1 right now. So I got nothing but respect for y'all team. And I think I'm just more shook at the fact that Tyreek Hill has 1,000 yards in 8 games.
Yeah. First player in Super Bowl era to do it.
He was talking about how he wants 2 bands, and I'm just like, he just might do that.
And the crazy thing is he might be able to get 2 bands within 16 games, so you can't even say it's because he had an extra game.
Oh, that'd be 5 if you did that. But that makes sense because I doubt that they play him in the last game either.
Next game on the slate, Steelers losing at home 10-20 against the Jaguars. Steelers offense looked pretty bad. Kenny Pickett left the game with a rib injury. Mitch came in at halftime. Mitch tried to do his best, but like I don't have the stats in front of me, but Kenny had less than 100 yards. Mitch, I think, had less than 100 yards. The run game, I think the leading rusher had like 18 yards. Like it does all around. Their defense kept them in this game as long as they could and kept it a ball game for as much as they could. But the Steelers couldn't put anything together to win this game.
No, that shit was crazy watching this game. I had to throw my mask back on because the Jaguars were thieves this entire game. Bro, did you know the Jaguars have 18 turnovers this season? Have 18 takeaways.
I heard them say it on the on the game when I was watching it, and I believe it because they have it getting a lot of takeaways.
Bro, that shit is crazy, and that's what is. I feel like every time we saw this game pop up on the red zone, it would be the Jaguars. It would just be Jaguars plays. We got to see no Steelers offense slightly, and then motherfucking Kenny Pickett getting hurt, and them throwing Mitch Trubisky in is like fuck. That's just insult to injury now.
And the only positive play, I mean, Deontay Johnson was cutting up. I had him over 4.5 catches. He got 8. Easy. But George Pickens, did you see his touchdown? It was like a nice little slant route, and then 2 defenders, and he jumps over one while breaking the tackle of the other one. Like, it was kind of like because they're coming at like a diagonal angles, and one has one leg, and he's like jumping. And he jumped over the dude and broke the tackle and got the that was how his touchdown came about. And I was like,
oh, he's a dog.
Yeah, he is. But I was just like, you have to do all that just for them to do something. Maybe Well, we'll see. Just because we'll see how to move forward. Kenny Pickett hurt again, rib injury. We'll see what happens with him. But even without him, this offense has looked so bad that like their defense can only do so much, and eventually defenses give up. Like enough bad games, and they kind of they're tired and gassed, and they don't want to keep doing it.
No, that's real. And the thing about this shit is there's a lot of rib injuries this week. Same thing with Tyrod Taylor. And Tyrod Taylor shit was bad. Like he was like literally looking like he was having trouble breathing.
Yeah, no rib injuries are motherfucker.
Yeah, bro. I heard when you hurt your ribs, it like my coach hurt his ribs one time when we were wrestling, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like you can't even when you shit and you push it out, couldn't even do that.
You can't even do that, man.
That shit hurt. That shit hurt too much."
Next game on the slate from one quarterback injury to, I mean, from one two quarterback game to another two quarterback game. Falcons losing to Tennessee Titans 23-28 in Nashville. Lil Levis gets his start, throw 4 touchdowns in his rookie start. I'll give it to him. That's fucking crazy. They put out the stat, Kev. I don't know if you saw it. He has more passing touchdowns in this game than Tannehill has all season. Like the question comes now, like if Tannehill's healthy next week, like do you just keep Will Levis out there? D Hop catching 3 of them touchdowns himself. Desmond Riddler is kind of the other story. He gets benched at halftime. He gets the concussion protocol. He clears concussion protocol. They decide, nah, we're gonna put Heineke in there. Heineke looked good for a little bit. Like it was offense was moving. Riddler fumble again. I think they said it like 7 or 8 turnover, 7 or 8 turnovers for him in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Like that's an insane number.
Bro, and it'd be crazy because they be fumbles. Like, bro, what you doing? But I mean, you can make excuses, but this game was close. I mean, me personally, that first D Hop touchdown, he literally like gave bro a hug, whispered in his ear, and then create a separation for the play. So like I guess the refs ain't call it. Second touchdown by D Hop, good touchdown. The third touchdown, why the fuck was he that open? And who was it that scored last one? Was it the tight end?
Nico Westbrook, the other wide receiver.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I'm not mad at the fact that I thought we had a top 10 defense and we didn't look too top 10 today. But I do respect the fact that we stayed close.
Do you like moving forward? Do you like Taylor Heineke takes the helm next week? He is a gamer.
Nah. I say we could just keep running with Ritter. Why not?
The only thing I have a Riddler is not just the yard, because I'll give him credit with the yards. He started getting more yards, but now it is just a turnover issue. Like you can't, you got to be more. That's the golden goose.
Yeah, in fact, you do got to figure that out because 7-8 turnovers is crazy, and like 3 fumbles, like against the Bucks, it was like 3 fumbles in one game. Like it's kind of crazy.
And in the week before that, I think it was the week he threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, we're gonna get that figured out. Give us some time.
Next game on the slate, Panthers beating the Texans 15-13. This game was a nail biter, coming all the way down to Eddie Pinero's field goal to win the game. Back and forth.
On the third try.
On the third drive, multiple flags. It's even hitting the fucking backup quarterback that was holding the ball. But this was a close game. It was a good. No offense really did anything. A couple big goal line stops by defenses. Bryce Young gets his first career NFL win, and it's against the number 2 pick, C.J. Stroud, and that's going to be the headline everyone takes.
Oh, for sure. I'm shocked that we didn't take the headline, but it was crazy the fact that the Panthers were able to do that because I felt like this entire game they just kept fighting. So, and I gotta see what's Thielen have like 66 yards, no touchdown.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 catches for like 60 yards. Not a bad day. But Bryce Young didn't have to rely on him.
Hell yeah. But so I respect it. But how the fuck did this fucking Panthers defense score twice on this Texans defense?
So that was the big thing to me is like this Panthers defense is actually standing up for themselves. Like they're actually playing up to what we thought they were when we started the season. And they weren't just letting teams walk them down. And
Mm.
that was the big difference maker. Like, was their defense was standing tall. C.J. Stroud only had 170 yards or something. They played really good.
Oh wow, that's amazing. But shout out fucking the Panthers for getting their fucking first win. Now you guys are still bottom of the division, but at least you guys can say y'all gotta win now. I
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing, but it's crazy that like I thought this was gonna be the game that CJ Stroud goes crazy. And it's like you said, the defense was holding shit down. 140 yards, 16 for 24. And they sacked him twice. I'm just saying. I was expecting him to go insane.
Next game, this game I want to get a little credit for. I think I hit the nail on the head. The Cowboys beating the Rams 43-20. I said they would dominate on all three sides of the ball. I didn't get the special teams touchdown, but you got the defensive touchdown. Bland, that was his third pick six of the year, which is nuts. Special teams gets a block punt that turns into a safety. They almost take that safety punt back for a touchdown. They get stopped on like the 20-yard line. Uh,
Mhm.
Dak throwing four touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb puts up 41 points for my fantasy team. I think he had like 11 catches, 100 and something yards, two touchdowns, like just ass whooping.
Now his new name is TD Lamb per the Cowboys on Twitter.
And I like it for him, not just because I be rooting for the Cowboys for my dad, but I like it for him because there are so many people, media people, that were talking about he's not a wide receiver one. We were even like he's not too good at it. And like if he continues to play like this, that's a motherfucking wide receiver one.
Nah, for real. I mean, I think he's going into the role quite. He's transitioning to the role. But like we said, man, the Cowboys get motherfuckers that's not supposed to be in the room with them up out of there. When it was 33-3 before halftime, I was just like, oh, it's one of those games. And you hit it better than anybody when you said they was gonna kill him in all three stages. And I was just watching this shit like, wow. And do we get any updates about Matthew Stafford's hand?
No, but his thumb injury, he didn't finish this game. Another quarterback they're gonna have to pay attention to. Like the quarterbacks are dropping like flies this week. This was a very big week on injuries to quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's crazy. And this is like a big contract year, like in the sense that like a lot of people got paid. And they might not be hurt per se, but like it's crazy.
Yeah, and the next game we're going to talk about is also a contract year for Kirk Cousins. They get Vikings win 24-10 against the Packers, but at what cost? Because Kirk Cousins torn Achilles, he's going to be done for the season. Contract year, never been hurt before. Um, all the money on the table, like this is for someone like Kirk. I feel for him because contract year, never been hurt before. Now he's got to deal with this. He's at the tail end of his career where who knows if he even wants to come back from a rehab and run it back. And then if he does, what's the offer look like? Does he get disrespected? Does he not? Like, who knows? And now the Vikings are kind of in scramble mode. They,
I mean, it looked like they were probably going to get in a position to start selling when they started 1-4, but now they got to figure something out.
they brought it back. Kirk brought it back to the dead 4-4. 4-4. And he was balling. Second in passing yards, top five in passing touchdowns. People said he couldn't do it without Jay Jettas. You know he
He
did.
figured it out.
Yeah, he figured it fucking out and made that off. And he had one hiccup, one bad game, and people wrote him off. And he went back and threw 370 against the 49ers.
And he won in prime time.
Followed
But
up.
it's crazy. It's crazy. I was low-key tripping about the timing of the play when it happened because it was like, damn, bro, like 30-19, y'all couldn't run that bitch.
See, I do agree with you to an extent because it is 3rd and 19. But it happened so quick. He hiked it, took his drop back, then took two steps forward into the pocket, and then kind of collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I thought he got sacked, and then all of a sudden you see the replays is in slow motion, all that. Like no one touches him. He hikes it, takes 3 steps back, pockets are closing up. He does the normal thing, the steps in and it kind of curls up, and then this leg just goes, and it was like non-contact injury. And this is a point where you still the game wasn't put away either. That was the other thing. Like they had just the Packers had just almost scored a touchdown, and then they scored a touchdown. So like the Packers offense was moving, and it was so it wasn't completely over. Like the fork wasn't in them yet.
I mean, yeah, I can respect it.
And Kirk Cousins is also a warrior. Like the one thing no one ever gives him credit for is like he puts his body on the line as much as any other guy.
He just doesn't. Yeah, that's facts.
I feel for him though. Packers, their offense looked atrocious. I don't know if the Vikings defense was really looking that well. They made that one big interception where they snatched the ball out of Watson's hand. Like their DB did what Jordan Addison did last week against the 49ers. Like he just give me that, that's mine. And I don't know if the Packers offense is just that bad. They didn't have a first down until they made that last halftime drive. That was their first down of the game, was drive at halftime for the field goal.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if the Vikings defense is playing better or if the Packers offense is really that bad. Like that was a big question mark.
I think it's a mix of both 60-40, but like the fact that the Packers couldn't capitalize is kind of crazy because there was a couple situations where they had some good field position because I think they got a turnover before Kirk got up out of there.
Yeah, there was a multiple turnovers. I think it was an interception and a fumble. Next game on the slate, Saints winning 38-27 against the Colts. This game's, I mean, the Colts are weird to me because they might really just be one of them people that just like every game's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of points for no reason whatsoever because both teams have good defenses.
Yeah, and this shit just turns into yeah.
Because everything was looking good till it didn't. Like Jonathan Taylor was completely back, 9 touches, 90 yards. Saints hitting 50-yard touchdowns to Shaheed, Gardner Minshew coming down to Pittman and answering. Like they not a defensive game at all. Very close back and forth. Then like Minshew throws the interception. Then the Saints go up by multiple touchdowns. Then the Colts make it close again, but the Saints do enough to win the game. But like this was honestly one of the funner games to watch this Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. I was just shook at the fact that like I was so much of a believer in Minshew Mania. Like I was screaming that shit, and I'm watching Alvin Kamara score his like 16-yard touchdown. Shaheed would score the 50-yard touchdown, and I'm like, yo, this is a Derek Carr. I think probably like less than 60% right now. So this is kind of scary. The fact that he can torch his defense that looked pretty relentless last week.
And then Taysom Hill throwing a 44-yarder.
That shit is crazy.
In another game, these two games were kind of on the split screen for me. This one and this one was the Eagles versus Commanders, 38-31. And the Commanders must have got their fucking number at this point. It came down to the wire. At halftime, it really looked like the Commanders were going to beat the Eagles. I don't know if I was seeing things, but Howell was cooking. He was 24 of 26 for 2 touchdowns, 240 yards at halftime.
He's a fucking animal.
And they honestly almost beat the Eagles again.
Nah, literally, I don't know why these games are so close because they definitely was up at many point in times. And I feel like they come into this game thinking like, yo, this team is beatable. I don't care what anybody says. Sam Howell, 397 yards and 4 TDs. Like, whoa.
He did not get sacked. I think he might have got sacked later in the game. I could be wrong, but I just know it was like middle of the third quarter, no sacks given up yet. 300 and something yards, 85% completion percentage. I was like, yo, Sam Howell's not the reason. It was until he threw the interception where it was like, okay, Sam Howell might be the reason why we're losing now. But he was
Mm.
the reason why we were losing whenever at halftime, 24-26, 2 touchdowns, 200 and something yards.
No, that shit is crazy. So shout out Sam Howell, even though they lost, but the Eagles just continue to fuck shit up, even though they playing closer games now. But the Eagles, like AJ Brown's catch on the sidelines was insane. The one-handed one, in the ends, the sidelines of the end zone. So like,
Nasty.
yeah, this Eagles team is fucking him.
AJ Brown
But
broke the record for most games in a row. He broke Johnson's record. He had most games in a row with 125 yards with 6.
damn,
The record was 5 with Calvin Johnson. Now it's AJ Brown with 6
mm,
and counting. Because who's stopping that big motherfucker?
nah,
And did you see the Devontae Smith touchdown with the blown coverage where he was just wide open?
nah. What happened?
So Washington's up like winning, and then I think this is the touchdown to tie it up in the third quarter. Blown coverage, no one on the back end. Devontae Smith's wide open, just catches the ball, walks in for a touchdown. And then the following, like 2 plays later, when Sam Howell threw the interception that sets up the Eagles' second touchdown. And then they not second one, but they take the lead. And that's when the momentum shifted completely for the Eagles to take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, this Eagles team is 7-1. They're number one in the number one now because the Chiefs lost. So like, but I still feel like they're playing a lot of crazy close games from what I don't know what. But
Jalen Carter's getting an MRI.
mhm. I mean, they got hitters, so I want to see what this. I'm gonna continue to stay tuned in with this Eagles team to see what they do. But like, they got hitters, and then if you looked at the mic'd up last week, you just want to see a Super Bowl where it's Jalen Hurts versus Tua.
Oh, I'm not mad with that.
Mm-hmm.
And they faked the tush push. They busted out for DeAndre Swift touchdown. Everyone fake. They faked the tush push. It was nasty. Next play on the slate. I mean, next game on the slate. Seahawks beating the Browns 24-20. Seahawks getting the lead at the very last second. 38 seconds left on the clock. Jackson Smith and the Jibba catches the 9-yard touchdown from Geno Smith. PJ Walker, couple interceptions, but I mean, I wouldn't say he looked terrible. The offense was moving down the field against the Seahawks throughout the whole game. But those interceptions definitely were costly when you look back at it. But that's what you expect when you're playing PJ Walker. The Browns defense once again kept this game where it was supposed to be. And the Browns, another game where this might just be like week in and week out with the Browns. Like you're not going to beat them by more than 7 points.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's looking like. The fucking that last touchdown though from Geno to
Najigba.
yeah, what you said, motherfucking. That just showed that, bro. I love watching Geno playing a lot of times because he just shows that, like, yo, bro, I can do this. Like, he doesn't really back down for moments, even though he's not the best. He just looks so confident in everything he does. So them scoring that last touchdown was pretty fire.
I was pissed that they got the touchdown because I took the Browns money line on top of I think the spread. I was sitting there looking pretty until the last 38 seconds.
Not for real.
Next game, Ravens beating the Cardinals 31-24. This was a ball game, start to finish.
Nah, for real.
This was a real deal ball game. Cardinals scoring first. Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs might be the low key person to bet every week to score a touchdown. Also, because you're getting good odds as a quarterback running it in, and he's low key their best goal line option right now.
Oh, for sure. Like, we said this on the preview. Like, we was like, yo, Josh Dobbs is that sneaky motherfucker you want on your team right now.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson only 157 yards. He didn't look too hot. Gus Edwards, Gus the Bus, 3 touchdown game, 80 yards. Definitely running back number one over there from what it looks like from moving forward also. But they squeak out a win against the Cardinals, 31-24. Wasn't his best game. Probably something you should have expected after the best game of their career against the Lions last week. Like, it probably wasn't going to be a week in and week out type of thing.
Hmm. I mean, I'm got nothing but love for this Cardinals team because every time they get up and they go after it, nobody expects them to win, but they get in that bitch. They figure out a way to get in the end zone. Josh Dobbs, like you said, he's like the unsung hero. He's a sneaky prop for motherfucking for a touchdown every game because he figures out a way to get in that motherfucker. And the fact that even late in the game they were still scoring and they were trying to find ways to win, showed me that this Cardinal team has a lot of fight left in them. They said Kyler Murray is still, I think, supposed to miss next week too, but I am getting a lot of respect for this Cardinals team that I thought was gonna be under fire.
Well, they're going to bring back Colin Murray for what?
Get his reps in, so that way that people start blaming him for shit again.
Right, they're not going to do diggly squat, and then he's probably going to tweak something going like 3 weeks into the season.
Yep, most likely.
But I mean, Ravens low key. What's their record saying now? Aren't they six? Yeah, 6-2.
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah. And they don't. I don't know who's their next. What's their upcoming schedule?
For the Ravens, I can pull up their schedule really quick.
Yeah, they got the Seahawks, the Browns, the Bengals, the Chargers,
Oh, that's a
and
tough
the
schedule.
Rams. Yeah, they got a decent little. They got some good defense, and they got to go. But I think most of them are at home, besides for the Chargers.
And they usually
So
always start off really good. That's something their trends like the first 8 weeks, they're typically like round 6-1, 5-3, seven and I mean 6-2, 5-3, 7-1. And then
yep.
the second half of the season is when Lamar gets hurt and they just completely they go like 2-6 and they're fighting for a playoff spot.
Now you hit the nail on the head.
So we got to see moving forward. Next game, the biggest. Oh, you got something to say?
I was about to say they're still number one in their division, but like if the Bengals keep stringing along W's, man, I don't know.
Yeah, the lock that I gave at preseason Bengals and Ravens top two in division. I mean Browns and Steelers aren't out of it technically, but everything trending wise, Ravens and Bengals look pretty good.
That shit is gonna hit.
Broncos beating the Chiefs 24-9 in Denver. You see the fucking cowboy hat on my head. Never did I ever give up on them boys down in Bronco County.
Ah,
We ride in Denver. But in
uh, 20,
all honesty, what was your takeaway for this game?
24-9 was crazy. First off, I'm tired of them boys putting up that graphic of Travis Kelsey with Taylor Swift there versus without. Need them boys to chill on that because that should be sending my glass. But I just think there was a lot of like there looked like there was like miscommunications a lot. I feel like there was a lot of just air throws. Maybe it was the Broncos defense giving great looks, so there wasn't much to do and a lot of confusion. But I genuinely feel like there was just like this Chiefs team just came out looking stale. There's a play where Patrick Mahomes like runs around and breaks probably like 3 or 4 tackles just to throw that bitch away.
Yeah, I mean, 5 turnovers as a team,
Oh,
um,
the turnovers was crazy.
2 interceptions and a fumble from Patrick Mahomes, a couple fumbles from MVS and McCole Hardman as well. Just 5 turnovers was insane to even look at when I saw the stat pop up. And then Patrick Mahomes, fun fact, this was his worst day in fantasy football ever. I think he only put up like 6 points or something like that. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes, this was his worst career day in fantasy football. And his undefeated streak against the Broncos is over.
That's crazy. What they had like 16 games type shit.
Something crazy, yeah. Like Mahomes was in his career like 8-0 or 9-0 against them, about to be 10-0.
No, that shit is crazy. I mean, the Broncos just got up for this game as well. I can't just give it all on the page on Pat Mahomes and the boys looking just out of the mold, out of shape. Nah, the Broncos did get up because they've scored and putting up 24 on these boys. It's crazy. I understand a lot of it was good field position and taking advantage of the turnovers, but I was shook because at any second of moment you were just waiting in this entire game, you're waiting for the Chiefs to just turn it up one time.
No, nothing but field goals.
Pat Mahomes, 0 touchdowns is crazy.
And then the next underdog to win, 4 o'clock for some dogs. Bengals 31 against the 49ers 17. Brock Purdy got the start. Brock Purdy looked pretty 2 interceptions, 365 yards and a touchdown. Joe Burr, Joe Cool, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, the leading man, 100 yards, 10 catches, and a touchdown. Joe Mixon even getting into the mix with 87 yards and a touchdown and receiving work as well. Like Kittle, big day, 150 yards. CMC, anytime touchdown score, lock it up, multi touchdowns for him. But with all that being said, the 49ers look pretty shitty against this Bengals squad. Like the Bengals, the stats don't tell the full story. Like the Bengals dominated this game from start to finish.
Literally, never. This is a game that was never in doubt, even though it was crazy close. And motherfucking Joe Burrow, just 3 touchdowns, looking like himself. He got all his receivers involved. I seen him throw it to T. Higgins, and I was like, wow, I think this might be the first T. Higgins highlight I've seen all season. Not even trying to be funny. Maybe I'm just not tapped in with the Bengals for real. They look straight, and that's kind of crazy. Like, I mean, CMC, he hit his the record, the 17 touchdowns games with a touchdown in a row, but that was the most exciting thing they did. I think Brock Purdy's been like, they're really going to be on his ass. They was on his ass last week. They're really going to be on his ass this week. They're going to keep screaming he's the system quarterback. And there was a lot of just situations where the Bengals defense just crowded him like that. That play they called an interception, like that was an open touchdown if he could have just made that throw, but instead he flipped that hook. And I don't know how that defender got that bitch, but he got that bitch, bounced it up, got it, and took that bitch to the house.
And
Well, not to the house.
he underthrew like some easy like a first down curl route type of thing where he looked through all the reads, open like clean pocket, makes it to the fourth read. It's a wide open curl route on the outside, and it is towards the guy's feet, and like he can't make the catch. And like some people want to blame the receiver. It's like, bro, like that's not a catchable ball. Like why is that like 5 yards short for that's easy first down? Like these are the question marks people had on Brock Purdy. Like to be able to, and I'll give it to him. He was making those throws every fucking time. And for once, not for once, but now twice, and 3 losses in a row for him. He has 5 interceptions on those 3 losses. Like that's not good football.
Damn, you're not lying, but they better figure something out and figure that bitch out ASAP because this mighty team that we was all scared of at the beginning of the season is low key getting smaller, like less and less scary.
We should have seen it coming whenever they beat Dallas Cowboys and they had the fuck Dallas t-shirt underneath. Like they didn't dump the Gatorade literally, but like they acted as if that was the biggest game of their career. They had like shirts tucked underneath, ready to go. And then since that win, 0-3.
Nah, shirt stuck underneath is crazy, but they'll figure it out. I think this defense is the fact that the fucking Bengals hung 31 on this defense is pretty impressive.
Burrow was doing his 43 rushing yards and he was working the pocket. Like there was moments where the edges were coming. Then we got Bosa and fucking Hargreave over there. Like, and then he's cutting up in the pocket, buying an extra second and a half. And then when you have that extra second and a half, T. Higgins, Boyd, Mixon, Jamar Chase, one of them's going to be open. And that's exactly what it was.
Now, I respect it to the fullest, but let's hope they can keep this up, especially for my fantasy team.
And then for our last game on the slate here, Sunday Night Football. This is a game we said looked a lot better when people had the fucking Justin Fields MVP picks and bets and thoughts and prayers even for him. And exactly what it was. Chargers whooping the Bears 30-13. I told you take the -8.5. Never in doubt. Justin Herbert, I told you take over 1.5 passing yards. I think that cashed in the second quarter. Just completely cutting up. Like Justin Herbert had with 9 fingers. If y'all didn't see one of it, he's got a cast still and made it look easy. The Bears story came to an end. The rookie getting 2 interceptions, the run game non-existent. Most of the yards coming towards garbage time anyway. Like Chargers just whooped that ass.
Literally fucked them boys up. It was never close, even slightly. And Justin Burrow just looked like a fucking monster. You do end up throwing 40 passes. I think it's crazy. 31 for 40. I don't got time to do the crunching in my head, but that's pretty fine. Motherfucking Austin Eckler, besides for his fumble, he did a lot of great shit, especially through the motherfucking air. Keenan Allen, 8. I don't know. This team just like when this team's rolling, they got weapons for sure. They don't even miss who's big dog that just got hurt? Mike Williams.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Josh
it looks like
Palmer came in and he's doing just fine.
yeah, but this Bears defense is kind of like they forced I think they forced 0 turnovers and got 0 sacks. So it's like they kind of weren't really stressing these motherfuckers at all.
They did get that one turnover with the fumble, but it was like
It was my bad,
fourth,
0 interceptions.
yeah, fourth quarter, game out of reach. I think 2.5 minutes left. Like, oh, we 4 minutes left. Like, oh, like that changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, but the deep. It is the Bears though, so I can't even say the defense looked good, but it's also this is the Bears. Like Derwin James got an interception. I think Bosa getting a sack. Like defense looked great, but it's the fucking Bears with this rookie. Justin Fields looked like he probably will be going to play next week for just his body language on the sideline. Do I expect anything more out of the Bears? No. But do I expect more out of the Chargers? Yeah, because the way we were talking about how the Vikings were the best 1-win team, the Chargers are probably out of the 2-win teams coming into this week. They were probably the best 2-win team, and now they're 3-4. People gave Dolphins some shit like, "Oh, the Chargers are not a good team, y'all." Even though we beat them because they only have 2 wins, I'm like, watch, the Chargers are gonna end up in the playoffs or in the playoff contention by the end of the year. Like they still got the weapons and they still got Herbert.
Yeah, and I don't think their record is too stressful this next couple of weeks. They probably have like one or two who they got? They got the Jets, the Lions, the Packers, the Ravens, the Patriots, and that's up until December. And then after that, the Broncos, the Raiders. So yeah, they only play about like one or two more hitters all season. So this is a chance for them to make the playoffs and put a push together.
Yeah, like this game, I mean, there's not much to talk about. It just like we said what it was gonna be, an ass whooping, and it turned out to be an ass whooping. Chargers air attack.
Oh yeah, man. That's the slate, man. This was a pretty smooth Sunday.
Yeah, it was a good Sunday. I made a killing in props. I mean, I got to pick better because you're low key running off with the record right now with the like past 3-4 weeks wins.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can just let me run off with that thing. But if you didn't know, man, we don't mind telling y'all, man, that this has been a Totally Blitz podcast. I'm your boy, Kev Waterboy Savoy, aka Mr. J. We're in this bitch with Paul Pickens when it comes to the mayor of Bronco County.
No,
Hey, man, and happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you enjoy your times. Have a safe weekend, man, and motherfucking, and make sure you fuck up some candy. But we don't mind telling you again that this has been a Totally Blitz podcast, and we out this bitch. Yeah, bitch.